Hey guys, third time's a charm. Oh my goodness, I cleared my cache and my cookies on my computer, and I don't know if that's what did it, but nothing wanted to work today. Also, as I look at myself without makeup on, I don't have makeup on today, and I feel the need to like announce that. I have something like in my eye, and I haven't gotten it out yet. And having makeup on while I'm rubbing my eye hasn't been working out either. So I'm just not wearing it until I get the whole eye thing figured out. Anyway, welcome. We're on week 11, guys. We only have 1 week left. This is that last actual teaching week. Next week, I'm not going to wait 2 weeks. We're going to do it again next week. We originally were going to wrap up December 9th, and we're still going to wrap up December 9th. So it's going to just be like a review of everything that we've talked about. But today we're talking about restoring our rhythm, the power of a weekly reset. And I know some of these last few may feel a little bit redundant. They're all kind of focusing on stress reduction, on slowing down, on finding joy. These are the things that we tend to be missing, and these are the things that we tend to overlook or excuse or say we don't have time for. But these are, I mean, all of it's important, right? Sleeping is important, moving our body is important, getting outside is important, nourishing our body with proper nutrition is important, but so is living life in a manageable way. And I've spent and tend to have a tendency to fall into the trap of not living life in a manageable way and then having to pull myself back out of that and give myself grace and move on, and keep trying to do it over and over again, right? So I'm preaching to the choir here when I'm talking about this. And today's probably going to be just a little bit shorter. It's not as heavy on the teaching. You already kind of know what this is. So I'm just going to review, let you sit with it. And then next week we'll come back for a wrap up call. So we weren't meant to hustle 24/7. We weren't meant to go from the time we wake up till the time we go to bed. We weren't meant for mile long to-do lists. We were meant for more of a nourishing rhythm. So rhythms, like our body knowing what to expect, and these rhythms that have like go time and rest time bring peace and clarity and allow our bodies to function as God designed them to function. God did not design us to be on all the time. I mean, some of us, I used to still occasionally do if I get in a bad rut, will dream about my work, right? Like dream about when I used to work outside of the home and I would have like a a problem that I couldn't figure out. I'm working on a report and it was wrong and I just couldn't figure it out. I would like think about it in my sleep or dream about it in my sleep and actually wake up and have thought of the solution and would I'd leave a notebook on my nightstand and take notes about that. We're not designed for that, although some solutions did come to me that way. I don't think that that is, we're not designed to be thinking about work and thinking about our problems while we're sleeping. Anyway, I digress. So you've been working so hard at nourishing your body. Let's kind of focus on the schedule piece now. So this week we're going to talk about something that a lot of us have lost, and like I've alluded to, it's our rhythm. So having this rhythm, sorry, is important. Our body thrives on predictability. So having a rhythm to our day and to our week can be helpful. So this modern life treadmill tends to be the problem, right? It's us falling into the trap of the modern life treadmill. Our culture tends to glorify this hustle and productivity, like I'll rest when I'm dead. Resting is almost seen as like a sign of laziness if you take a day off just to be off. Like if you take a day off of work just to be off, not because your kids have to go to the doctors or because you're going out of town, but I just need a day off of work just to rest. That's not understood. Taking a nap, taking a rest, like just taking downtime is often seen as lazy. We need to rethink that. As moms, we often run all week long and then we crash on the weekend, if we even allow ourselves to crash on the weekend, or we plow through the weekend with weekend activities and then we just start all over again on the next week. And same thing, run all week, maybe crash on the weekend, maybe plow through the weekend, and rinse and repeat. We just keep doing that over and over again. And until our body forces us to stop, which might be years and it might not be pretty. Sometimes it forces us to stop with um with health issues, and we don't want to get to that point. So we want to focus more on living intentionally instead of reactively. That's part of this, right? So when we're always putting out fires, we're reacting and we feel like we don't have control of our day. So if we can try to start living intentionally and try to start like making plans for what we can make plans for. As moms, we're still going to have fires to put out. But if we can plan for what we can plan for and put out fires when we have to put out fires, then we can be living more intentionally. Because when we're constantly living in reactivity mode, there's no time to process, no time to plan, and no time to rest. And this creates that feeling of like chaos, anxiety, lack of control, which trips up our nervous system. Our nervous system thrives on rhythm, and we were created for rhythm. So I like to look at this as, or make a suggestion or recommendation to my clients that we have this weekly reset, right? We see this recommended to us even biblically, right? We should have a Sabbath. Or a margin day, and it doesn't have to be on Sunday. And honestly, it doesn't have to be an entire day. It's not, most people aren't going to go from running 24/7 to taking an entire day off. And some people can't even find like a big chunk to take off. So for those, I'll recommend sprinkling it throughout the day or throughout the week, like smaller chunks throughout the week. And we want to think of it kind of like a mini reset. And it's not just rest, it is rest, but it's intentionally resting. So having these weekly resets, and again, it might look like taking 2 hours on a weekend to intentionally, and we'll get to what it looks like, but it might look like 2 hours on a weekend or 30 minutes, 4 days a week, like 30 minutes Monday through Thursday evening. Or if your kids are in sports and or have other activities and that's not realistic, finding 30 minutes 4 times a week or 2 times a week, start where you're at. But it helps when we find these like little chunks of time, these little pockets of time to add margin to our day. So it's not just crammed from start to finish. It helps us to regulate our cortisol, helps us to balance that nervous system, like releases some of the tension in our nervous system. And it allows us to create space for reflection and connection. It can also help to avoid burnout, which is what a lot of the moms that I'm working with are dealing with. And it can allow us to like parent and to plan and to be available to our spouse and just to live with more presence. So, some examples of what this might look like. These are like some pretty doable, non performative options. So, sitting quietly with tea and a journal. I have my planner right here. The back of my planner has some journal pages. I know my camera's doing goofy things, but this is my day planner and it has a journal in the back of it. Or using a separate notebook, using your phone if you need to. I really prefer not to use the phone, really prefer that you're taking pen to paper. But just some quiet time with tea in a journal. Doesn't have to be tea, can be coffee, whatever your thing is. Going for a walk in nature. We've talked about this before for other things, but there's just something that is restorative about being in nature. So going for a walk in nature, doing some gentle yoga, not power yoga, just some like gentle, and I don't mean like spiritually doing yoga. I mean some stretching, some um, just those gentle flows as a form of stretching, relaxation, exercise. Cleaning up. Now, if this works for you. So for me, it's therapeutic to like, if my closet's a mess, sometimes I like to put on some music, take everything out of my closet and reorganize it. I like that though. That's like calming to me, or cleaning out underneath the kitchen sink or the bathroom cabinet, finding these, or even like clearing off the desk, but not doing it in a rushing way and not multitasking, but like right now, put on some Christmas music, and do the thing, just clean it up and make it tidier so it's less distracting. That's an option. Brain dumping your week ahead. So doing this on a Sunday is helpful for me, like looking at my week, looking at my calendar, all the things that are coming up, all the things I plan on getting done and writing them all down and then trying to slot them in, like when am I going to do these things? Saying no, just saying no. You don't have to be a yes woman. You don't have to say yes to everything. Say no to plans. If somebody like, can you do this? Can you be here? Can you do that? Maybe you can. Maybe it's going to be life-giving. Maybe it works, but maybe it doesn't. And just actually taking the time to acknowledge, like, will this be good for me and for my family, or will it not? And then if you say no to that thing, say yes to some breathing room, like just to some time, like maybe one of these 30-minute or 2 hour chunks of time where you can just kind of have a little bit of a reset. Even attending church or your spiritual practice, that definitely fits in here. Or, doing whatever it is for you that is resting without guilt. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be intentional. So for this week, What the action step is to schedule schedule and honor either a 2 hour weekly reset. Well, I would say 2 hours of time in a week that you could do as one chunk, as two 1 hour chunks, as four 30-minute chunks. 15 minutes isn't going to do it. I want to see 30-minute chunks and I want 2 hours of time total, ideally. So if you can do 2 hours of time total, if you can't, if it's two 30 minutes, you know what I mean? Take what you can get. Choose in advance, put it on your calendar if you need to, and protect it. Use this time for reflection, rest, prayer, journaling, or prep. Like this could be your Sunday prep time, right? Like your weekly prep, just your brain dump of everything that needs to happen this week. Or it can be for creativity. Do puzzle, make Christmas ornaments, knit, crochet, whatever it is that kind of allows your body to go into like a flow rest state, like flowing and rest, not flowing in productivity. And then I'd love for you to share in the group what you did. I will share throughout the week. You're going to see more puzzle pictures. Puzzles bring me joy and bring me a kind of way to add margin. My daughter and I have been doing puzzles. She had said the reason she loves them so much is because it allows her to shut off her brain. Like I can just shut off my brain and not have to think and not have to like be thinking and analyzing. It's like it's just a way to just be in the moment and to be present. You can't do a puzzle if you're not present. So anyway, that's that. I'll be posting in the group. And then remember next week, December 9th, noon or 12:05 if my computer gives me problems, but noonish, I'll be back live to recap everything and to give you your marching orders moving forward. All right, have a great week.